When Phil Jackson was the coach of the Chicago Bulls, he was interviewed, and one of the questions that the interviewer asked him was, what is the key to the success of the Chicago Bulls? Why did the Chicago Bulls win so many championships? And he said, is it because of Michael Jordan? And so the coach responded in such an amazing way. He said, it was Michael Jordan, but not for the reason you think it is. You would think that it's because of his ability to shoot free throws or 3-point shots, or his ability to pass, or his game on the field, his game on the court. But he says it's not because of his game on the court, it's because he's my coach on the floor. He says he's the one that executes the plays, he executes my desire, he executes my strategies. He's the one that shows up first in the locker room, first in the weight room, and the last to leave the weight room. He's the example player, and he sets the standard for everyone. What he was saying is, he said it was because Michael Jordan knows the key of followership. He is someone that is a leader in his own right, in his own abilities, his own skill set. He's got power and talent, but the fact is he knew he was a player on the team, and he had a desire to execute the coach's ideas and the coach's mind. And so this key component, everyone needs a coach on the floor. That is something that when I heard that, and I read that interview and I heard that statement, it just rang on the inside of me, because I realized what I had been challenged with and what I had learned from serving and from being a part of teams and being a part of organizations, whether they were a nonprofit or for-profit, whether it was going in and coaching an executive, a CEO. I realized when I went in to coach an executive, I wasn't there as the coach, but I was there as the coach on the floor. I was supposed to help from within, and I went in to serve, and I realized that all of these things that I learned the art of following, the art of discovering what the leader really wants and activating and executing that. And so I wrote this book, Followership. This book, Followership, was not because of what I knew, but how much I needed. I needed to have my team, those that I was raising up at the time, and those that I was working with, and those that were part of the organization that we were building. I was building a nonprofit organization, and I had people who'd moved from all around the United States to be a part of this team. They didn't know me as a coach. They knew me in a completely different way. They didn't know me as someone who had executive order and strategies. They knew me as someone that was more like a team player. And so when they came, they didn't know how to adjust to me, and I didn't know how to adjust to them, just to be completely honest. I was used to serving on a team and being on a team, not being the leader of the team. And so I didn't really understand the components of leading and following. The understanding that came so quickly is you're not a leader unless you have followers, and that's pretty simple. If you don't have someone following you, you can say you're a leader and I have all these leadership principles, but you really need to have someone following you. And you don't have a leader if you're not willing to follow them. And so there's that component. The relationship between the leader and the relationship between the follower are so synced. They have to be so connected. There is not, I'm leading, you do what I tell you to do. That's not going to be a functional relationship. What's going to have to be a functional relationship is where they both bring to the table their skills, their assets, but one knows that I'm here to help my leader get done what they're called to get done, or whatever their mission and their mandate is, and that's why I'm here. And so I wrote this book because there were certain things that when you have a job description, they're just not on the job description. There's things that are in your resume that are not going to describe what followership is. There are nuances that I realized to being on the team and being that person on the team that can be the coach on the floor, the leader from within. That's what followership is about. Not just someone who's running about doing a bunch of tasks, but it's about someone who is able to bring their strength and their talents and their ability to the team in such a way that it makes the organization just run like clockwork. It makes the organization stronger and better. Every coach, every leader, every CEO, every mom, every dad, every pastor, every minister, everyone that is running an organization that has a mandate, that has a purpose, that has something that they're working on, needs a coach on the floor. And everyone who is within themselves a person who just wants to be the Joseph, who wants to be the person, that coach on the floor. When I say Joseph, I'm referring to the Bible story of Joseph, who was the coach on the floor for Potiphar, and coach on the floor for for his leaders, for Pharaoh. And so we need to know that there's always going to be a place for those. And how do we do it well? How do we serve that second place, that not second best, but that second man place, that vice president level? There's always got to be someone who serves well there, someone who's able to make things happen. And so I just wanted to share this. And when I first originally wrote it because I read something when I was doing my own personal studies. I read something in the Bible, and it was in this statement jumped out: on whom the king leaned. And I read the story on whom the king leaned. The king was leaning on someone, and every king needs someone to lean on, someone that they can be advised by, someone who they can give their execution to, or their strategies to, and they will execute them. And this person whom the king leaned, he had failed in that moment. He spoke his own opinion. He spoke his own mindset. He had declared his own thoughts, and he didn't do it for the organization. He did it for himself, and it caused just all kinds of chaos and problems. And I realized that's the problem. That's the issue that I wanted to address in my organization. We're building a nonprofit. We're building a business at the time, and a coaching business at the time. All of this was taking place. And I needed to know and understand this realm of followership. I needed to know what it was to be a follower. It's not the one that's leading that actually draws the people. It's the one that's following the leader that draws the people. The organization needs people that can lead from within, and it's the whole organization literally follows them. More than it follows me, more than it follows the CEO or the management, the branch manager, whatever it is, it follows the people who are following them. And so if you are that person who's following a leader, you can be a leader on the floor and someone who's able to take the whole team along with you. But it's more than just being a task-minded person. It's a person who needs to be a thinker, someone who's going to think, someone who's going to be innovative. And so as I found that this person, he was a thinker. This person whom the king leaned, he was a thinker, but he was thinking for his own benefit. He wasn't thinking for the king or the kingdom. And it just caused devastation for him. He was not able to see the vision or to walk in the vision, to go in. He was able to see it, but didn't partake of it. And I don't want anybody on my team to see the vision and not partake of it. I didn't want to be a part of that lifestyle, whether I would see what the leader wanted but not partake of it. I wanted to be the kind of person who was thinking about what my leader wanted beforehand, so he would never ask, or she would never have to ask. I would have it before they ever wanted it, and it would just be right in their hands. And we would think about things beforehand. This is one of the lessons in the book, what I call that is intellectual curiosity. I was so curious about my position and so curious about how I, through my talents and my abilities, my skill set, could make the organization better. I was more intellectually curious about how to bring success to the organization than my leader was in that area. And I didn't want him to ever have to think about the area that I was working in. I wanted him to just see the results, declare what results he wanted, and then I wanted to bring it, because that was my portion of being on the team. And I think there's something about it, but the key is having intellectual curiosity. Your intellectual curiosity is not just being driven with tasks. It's not someone just saying, hey, go do this task, go do this, and go do this. Intellectual curiosity means I'm a thinker. Empower me to think, empower me to go, and I'm going to do something that is going to be amazing, something that is going to be outstanding in that area. And I'm going to learn. You can trust me to learn. You can trust me to be excellent. You can trust me in these ways, because I'm thinking about it more than you are. That's one of the keys in this book, is to be curious, be someone who is not only physically passionate, not only emotionally passionate, but mentally and intellectually passionate, asking questions, solving problems. Those are people we need on the team. Those are who your leader needs you to be, as a problem solver. Someone who is not thinking about the problems to bring and just bring problems, but someone that is solving the problems beforehand. Again, there's a lot of keys in there, and I can't talk about all that, because what I wanted to talk to you about is I wrote this book not really to be sold. It did sell, and there's a long story behind that, because when I wrote it, I just wrote it for my team, and it ended up connecting with my broker at the time, and he said, this is what we're asking for, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for something for followers. There's a lot on leadership, but there's not enough teaching on followership. And so they took it. It was something that went out, became an Amazon bestseller, but my original intent was to give it away. And so that's what I want to do today. I want to give this book to you for free. It's going to be just a little bit of shipping and handling associated to it, but it's not going to cost you anything for the book just to get it to you. And so if you will fill out the form right here, we'll get this book to you. And listen, if you don't like it, if you read it all the way from front to cover, you read it all the way, and you say it didn't benefit me at all, then go ahead and ask for your money back. We will send you the money back on shipping and handling. But I want you to know that it's important that you get it, because it's going to change the way your business, to change the way your nonprofit, your ministry, your organization, your entertainment company, your tech company, whatever you're working on, is going to change the way it functions, because you're going to have not only the coach on the team, but you're going to have an understanding as the leader to be able to do it. And if you're a follower, someone who is saying, I want to be good for the team, it's going to help you enhance the team. This is both for the leader and for the follower, and I want to just get it in your hands. Fill out the form. We'll send it to you. I believe that you'll be blessed by it. I believe that you'll be encouraged, and I believe your organization is going to take off. There's many organizations. I'm getting report after report of organizations that are using it, and it's bringing a dynamic change to the organization. So don't forget, just go ahead and fill it out right here, and we'll ship it out to you. Thank you. We'll see you next time. This is Tracy Armstrong signing off.